September 2008. Lehman Brothers collapsed. Global markets froze. Trillions of dollars in paper wealth vanished almost overnight. Families lost homes. Retirement accounts were devastated. Governments rushed in with unprecedented bailouts. This is the story everyone knows. But here is what almost no one teaches. While the system was breaking, a small group of people not only survived, they positioned themselves to benefit. They did not have secret information. They simply perceived the structure of risk differently. In 2026, as financial tensions rise again, the 2008 crisis remains one of the clearest demonstrations of wealth perception in modern history. The common narrative is simple: greedy banks, subprime borrowers, and a housing bubble that burst. The deeper truth is more uncomfortable. The crisis was built on an illusion of safety. Complex financial products, mortgage-backed securities, collateralized debt obligations, credit default swaps were sold as low-risk, highly diversified instruments. Rating agencies gave them AAA stamps. Banks held them off-balance sheet. Everyone believed the system had eliminated risk through financial engineering. This was the ultimate wealth perception failure, believing that complexity equals safety and that spreading risk through derivatives actually removed it. In reality, it concentrated systemic risk in ways almost no one could see until it was too late. At the heart of the crisis was a chain of misplaced trust. Homeowners believed house prices would rise forever. Banks believed they had offloaded risk through securitization. Investors believed AAA ratings meant safety. Regulators believed too big to fail institutions were too sophisticated to collapse. When the housing market turned, the entire chain unraveled. Subprime borrowers defaulted. Mortgage-backed securities became toxic. Banks that had leveraged 30 or 40 to 1 suddenly faced margin calls they could not meet. Liquidity evaporated. Yet here's the part that reveals true wealth perception. Some players saw the fragility early. A few hedge funds, most famously John Paulson's firm, took massive short positions against the housing market. They did not cause the crisis. They simply refused to share the collective illusion. Their bets turned billions in profits while the broader market burned. This was not luck. It was a different perception of structure. The government response was equally revealing. The Federal Reserve and Treasury launched emergency programs on a scale never seen before: TARP, quantitative easing, direct bailouts of banks and insurers. Too big to fail became official policy. While millions lost homes and jobs, the largest financial institutions were saved with taxpayer money. The message was clear: individual risk was real. Systemic risk would be socialized. For those practicing wealth perception, this highlighted a critical truth. Never place your entire financial life inside a system where private profits are kept and losses are shared with the public. The rules can, and will, bend when the powerful need them to bend. So who actually survived 2008 with their wealth intact or even strengthened? They were the ones who maintained high cash reserves, avoided excessive leverage, held real assets outside the banking system, and refused to chase the hottest trends. Some kept significant positions in short-term treasuries or gold. Others had liquidity ready when distressed assets became available at fire sale prices in 2009 and 2010. The crisis accelerated a massive wealth transfer from the over-leveraged middle class to those with dry powder and contrarian thinking. This is the uncomfortable pattern that repeats across history. Crises do not destroy wealth. They redistribute it to those who perceive structure correctly. What does this mean for your wealth perception strategy in 2026? Build the same resilient architecture we discussed in the 1929 lesson, updated for today's environment. Layer 1, utility. Everyday cash in FDIC-insured accounts kept conservative. Layer 2, redundancy, reserves in NCUA-insured credit unions. Layer 3, structural separation, Treasury securities held directly on treasurydirect.gov, no bank intermediary. Layer 4, continuity, modest physical cash and real assets for extreme scenarios. This is not about predicting the next crash. It is about refusing to depend completely on a system that has proven it will prioritize institutions over individuals when pressure becomes extreme. True wealth is not just accumulation. It is the freedom that comes from understanding how the game actually works. The deepest lesson from 2008 is this: crises expose the difference between perceived safety and structural safety. Your bank balance looks the same every morning until suddenly it does not. Your retirement account grows steadily until the underlying assumptions collapse. The wealth perception shift is moving from trusting the appearance of stability to understanding the actual architecture underneath. If this video helped you see one layer deeper into how financial systems truly function, please like and subscribe to The Wealth Perception. We don't chase headlines. We study the forensic record of what actually happened when trusted systems failed, and how clear-minded individuals protected and grew their wealth through the chaos. The next crisis is never exactly like the last one, but the principles of perception remain the same. Thank you for watching. I look forward to continuing this journey with you. See you in the next video.